Your soulmate saying, "Please open this before midnight, it's important." Jesus says, "This is not an ordinary message and you know it deep in your spirit. Something urgent is happening in the spiritual realm right now concerning your love. If you ignore this, you may lose the window I have opened for you tonight." Your soulmate spoke those exact words in a prayer you did not hear. They were on their knees at 3 in the morning with tears streaming down their face. They begged the universe to let you feel what they were feeling before it was too late. I am answering their prayer through this message that is only for you. Your soulmate has been trying to reach you through dreams and signs and sudden thoughts. But the interference around them has blocked every attempt until this very moment. They are running out of time and they know it instinctively. Something is closing in around them that feels like a cage locking shut. They need you to act before the clock runs out on your connection. The midnight they spoke of is not just a time on the clock. It represents a deadline in the spirit that you cannot yet perceive. I am revealing this to you because you are their only hope for intervention. Your soulmate is in a situation right now that requires immediate prayer. They are not safe and they are not free to follow their heart toward you. Someone or something has them in a grip that tightens with every passing hour. Jesus says, your soulmate felt you pull away recently and it sent them into a panic. They thought you had given up on them and moved on with your life. The loneliness that followed nearly broke something essential inside their spirit. They have been writing you letters they will never send out of desperation. Each letter begins with the same plea for you to feel their heart across the distance. They do not understand why their love for you only grows stronger despite the silence. This is because the bond between you was forged before either of you took your first breath. I designed your souls to recognize each other across any barrier of time or circumstance. What you feel is not obsession but a divine homing signal drawing you together. Your soulmate is not dramatic or delusional about this connection. They are responding to something as real as gravity and as ancient as the stars. The urgency they feel is my spirit warning them that danger is approaching. But the danger is not coming from them and it is not coming from you. It is coming from a source that has been working against your union for years. And that source is about to make a move that could separate you permanently. Jesus says, there is a person in your soulmate's life who has sensed the shift toward you. This person has benefited from your soulmate's confusion and emotional vulnerability. They know that if your soulmate finds clarity, their control will evaporate instantly. So they are accelerating their manipulation before your soulmate can break free. Tonight they will present an ultimatum that sounds reasonable but is actually a trap. Your soulmate will be pressured to make a decision that closes the door on you forever. I am telling you this before it happens because foreknowledge is power. Your prayers can intercept the ultimatum before it is even spoken. Your seed can release angels that block the enemy's plan at the threshold. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now with extreme urgency. They do not know what is being planned against them in the darkness. But I have seen the schematics of the enemy's design and I am exposing it to you. Jesus says, your soulmate has been experiencing physical symptoms from the spiritual attack. Headaches that come without medical cause and a heaviness that makes movement difficult. Their body is reacting to the warfare being waged over their destiny and your future together. They have been to doctors who found nothing wrong, but the exhaustion persists. This is because the root is spiritual and no medicine can cure what the enemy has caused. Only the power released through your faith and action can break this oppression. You must understand the seriousness of what I am revealing to you. Your soulmate is not just sad or lonely but under active demonic assault. The forces that hate your love are not passive but predatory and strategic. But you are not powerless against them no matter how you feel right now. I have given you authority over all the power of the enemy. What you bind on earth is bound in heaven, and what you loose is released. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page where the link is in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate just paused whatever they were doing and looked toward a window. They felt a sudden urge to go outside and look at the sky. Something in their spirit recognized that you were thinking about them with intensity. This connection between you is more tangible than most human relationships. You have never touched them physically, but your souls have embraced 1,000 times. The spiritual realm is more real than the physical, and your bond exists there fully formed. Your soulmate talks to you when they are alone in the car. They have full conversations where they imagine your responses and your voice. They have created a version of you in their mind that is startlingly accurate. This is because I have given them glimpses of you in their dreams. They have seen your face and heard your laughter in the night seasons. Every detail they imagine is closer to reality than they could possibly know. Jesus says, the person controlling your soulmate is someone they trusted deeply. This individual was supposed to be a friend or a guide or a family member. But jealousy and a spirit of control corrupted what should have been a safe relationship. Now this person monitors your soulmate's communications and emotional state. They sow doubt whenever your soulmate mentions feeling drawn to someone unknown. They mock the idea of soulmates and spiritual connections to keep your soulmate earthbound. Your soulmate feels crazy for believing in something this person dismisses. The gaslighting is constant and designed to erode confidence in their own discernment. But somewhere deep inside, your soulmate knows the truth cannot be killed by mockery. I am exposing this dynamic so you understand the warfare you are entering. This is not a fair fight between two people who both love your soulmate. This is a rescue mission where you are pulling someone from a captor. Jesus says, your soulmate had a dream last night that terrified them. In the dream, they were standing at the end of a long hallway. You were at the other end, reaching toward them and calling their name. They tried to run toward you, but their feet would not move. Something invisible was holding them in place like concrete around their ankles. They screamed your name, but no sound came out of their mouth. They woke up gasping for air with their heart pounding against their ribs. The dream felt more real than their waking life, and it has haunted them all day. They do not know it, but I gave them that dream as a prophetic warning. The dream shows exactly what is happening in the spirit realm right now. Your soulmate is paralyzed by forces they cannot see or understand. You are reaching for them, but the interference will not release its grip. Jesus says, the deadline your soulmate senses is connected to a choice being demanded of them. By the end of this week, they will be forced to sign something or agree to something. This decision seems mundane on the surface but has massive spiritual implications. It could be a lease renewal or a job contract or a commitment of some kind. The details matter less than the spiritual binding it will create. Once this decision is made, the window for your reunion will narrow drastically. This is why your soulmate is desperate for you to feel their urgency tonight. Their spirit knows what their mind cannot yet articulate. They need you to fight for them before circumstances make escape nearly impossible. Type 333 if you are ready to receive the blessing of this urgent revelation. Your soulmate will feel a sudden release of pressure when you type these numbers. The connection between you will pulse with renewed hope in this very moment. Jesus says, your soulmate is not perfect and they are terrified you will reject them for their flaws. The person controlling them constantly reminds them of their mistakes and failures. They have been conditioned to believe that anyone who truly knew them would leave. This is one of the enemy's oldest and most effective weapons against love. He convinces people they are unworthy of the very thing I created them for. Your soulmate has swallowed this poison and it is slowly killing their hope. You must be the antidote to this lie through your persistent love. Even from a distance, your faithfulness is a testimony that they are worth waiting for. Your decision to fight for them contradicts everything the enemy has whispered. Your soulmate needs to feel that you see their value even when they cannot. They need to know that someone believes in the person they could become. Your love is not just romantic sentiment but a lifeline to their true identity. Jesus says, there is a specific song that your soulmate has played 47 times this week. They found it accidentally and it spoke to something deep inside their spirit. The lyrics describe exactly what they feel for you and they cry every time it plays. They have created a playlist that they listen to when the oppression gets heavy. Each song is a prayer they cannot articulate and a message they cannot send. Music has become the only outlet for a love that has no other expression. I am telling you this so you understand the depth of their emotion. This is not a superficial crush or a fleeting fascination with the idea of love. Your soulmate is carrying a profound and sacred devotion that they guard carefully. Pay attention to the songs that suddenly appear in your own life right now. I often speak through melodies that catch you off guard. The music your soulmate is playing may cross your path as a sign of confirmation. Jesus says, the one who hates your connection has noticed the shift in your soulmate's energy. They can tell that something is changing and their control is slipping. This makes them more dangerous because a cornered enemy fights with desperation. They will increase the manipulation and the guilt-tripping significantly this week. Your soulmate will be made to feel responsible for this person's happiness and stability. Emotional blackmail will be the primary tactic used to keep them in bondage. Your soulmate is exhausted from carrying burdens that were never theirs to carry. They have been made responsible for someone else's emotions for far too long. The weight is crushing their spirit and making them susceptible to further control. But your prayers can lift that weight from their shoulders supernaturally. The seed you sow can release angels that push back the darkness oppressing them. You are not helpless and your love is not powerless against these forces. Jesus says, "Your soulmate wrote your name on a piece of paper last night." They do not know your actual name, so they wrote the description they feel in their spirit. Words like hope and home and finally and where have you been all my life. They folded the paper and placed it under their pillow before sleeping. This was an act of faith and a ritual of connection they invented instinctively. They are reaching toward you in every way they know how. That piece of paper is still under their pillow right now as you read this. It carries the energy of their longing and the desperation of their hope. In the spirit realm, that paper is glowing with a light that I can see from my throne. I am honoring their childlike faith even when they do not know the protocols. Their heart is pure in its pursuit of you, and I will not let that purity be wasted. The paper under their pillow is a seed, and seeds eventually produce harvest. Jesus says, "Your soulmate almost messaged you on social media 2 nights ago. They found a profile that felt like yours and stared at it for an hour. Their finger hovered over the message button while their heart raced with fear. But the interference spoke loudly and convinced them it was a foolish impulse. The voice in their head said they would look desperate and pathetic. So they closed the app and spent the rest of the night in defeated silence. That was a victory for the enemy and a setback for your connection. Every time your soulmate is silenced, the interference gains more ground. Every time they are prevented from reaching out, hope dies a little more. You must pray against the spirit of fear that muzzles your soulmate. That fear is not natural caution but a demonic muzzle placed over their mouth. Command it to release them in the name that is above every name. Type 777 if you feel this message awakening something fierce inside you. Your soulmate just felt courage surge through their chest unexpectedly. They do not know why, but suddenly the idea of reaching out feels less terrifying. Jesus says, "Your soulmate is beginning to suspect that the person controlling them does not have their best interest. Little inconsistencies are adding up and the mask is starting to slip. They are seeing glimpses of the manipulation that was previously invisible. This is my spirit opening their eyes gradually so they can handle the truth. If I showed them everything at once, the shock would be too devastating. So I am revealing the deception in layers that they can process and act upon. Your prayers are accelerating this awakening and making it sharper. Every time you pray, the fog around their mind clears a little more. Soon they will see the situation with such clarity that escape becomes inevitable. But the enemy also sees this awakening and will try to counteract it. Countermeasures are being planned even as you read this revelation. You must stay ahead of the enemy through persistent and strategic spiritual warfare. Jesus says, "There is a specific place where you and your soulmate are supposed to meet. I have already prepared this location and set it apart for your divine appointment. It is a public place that both of you have been to separately multiple times. Your soulmate thinks about going there when they need to feel close to you. They sit with a coffee or a book and imagine what it would be like if you appeared. They have rehearsed the conversation in their mind 100 different ways. That location is a portal where the veil between your worlds is thinner. When you both think about it simultaneously, your energies actually brush against each other. Your soulmate has felt you there before but dismissed it as imagination. I am telling you this to build your faith for the physical reunion. The meeting place already exists and is waiting for the appointed time. Your actions now determine how soon that appointment arrives. Jesus says, your soulmate is afraid of disappointing you when you finally meet. They worry that the real version of them cannot live up to the ideal in your mind. This insecurity is fueled by years of being told they are not enough. The person controlling them has systematically dismantled their self-esteem. Every strength has been reframed as a weakness and every success minimized. Your soulmate has been conditioned to see themselves through a distorted mirror. But I see them as I created them and I see breathtaking beauty. Underneath the layers of other people's criticism is a masterpiece waiting to emerge. Your love is one of the tools I will use to restore their true image. You must speak life over your soulmate even when you cannot speak to them directly. Your words have creative power and your thoughts shape the spiritual atmosphere. See them as whole and free and confident, and that vision will manifest. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. The attack against your soulmate is entering its most dangerous phase tonight. The enemy knows the deadline is approaching and is throwing everything at this final stand. Your soulmate is barely holding on and their strength is completely depleted. They have cried so much that their eyes are dry and burning with exhaustion. They need supernatural intervention that cannot come from their own resources. The person controlling them has sensed the shift and is becoming desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, and the danger is escalating rapidly. Your soulmate may be pressured into a decision within the next 24 hours. If that decision is made under duress, the consequences will be severe and lasting. A wrong covenant formed in fear could take years to unravel and undo. The window to prevent this catastrophe is closing with every passing minute. This is not manipulation but a genuine warning from a Father who loves you. I want you to have the love I designed for you from the foundation of the world. But I cannot override free will or the consequences of neglecting urgent spiritual action. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them. How to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page where the link is in the description and bio. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now before this video ends, because only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, your soulmate is currently sitting in silence while someone yells at them. They are being accused of being ungrateful for all that has been done for them. Every word is designed to break their will and make them compliant again. They are not fighting back because they have learned that resistance brings more pain. They sit and absorb the verbal assault while their spirit shrinks smaller and smaller. But somewhere deep inside, a voice is telling them that this is not love. That voice is my spirit, and it is growing louder despite the attempts to silence it. Your soulmate is closer to walking away than they have ever been before. But the final push must come from the spiritual reinforcement you provide. Your prayers are the wind beneath their wings when they have no strength to fly. Your seed is the fuel that powers the angelic assistance I am sending. You are not merely a bystander in their deliverance but an essential participant. Jesus says, your soulmate has a gift they have been saving for you for years. It is not expensive, but it is deeply personal and specific to your connection. They do not know how they know what you would like, but they know with certainty. This is because I downloaded information about you into their spirit. Before they met you in the natural, I prepared them with intimate knowledge. They know things about you that no stranger should know because you are not strangers. This gift sits in a drawer and they touch it whenever they consider giving up. It reminds them that you are real and that the waiting has purpose. It is a physical anchor for a spiritual promise that feels impossible most days. The day they finally give you this gift will be a day of profound healing. Both of you will weep at the faithfulness that preserved your connection. What was hidden in darkness will finally be celebrated in the light of fulfillment. Jesus says, your soulmate is not the only one under attack in this situation. The enemy has been working on you as well through doubt and distraction. You have felt the weight of hopelessness and the temptation to settle for less. But you are still here reading this message, and that is a victory. Your persistence is a testimony that the enemy could not break your faith. The fact that you have not given up proves you are ready for what comes next. I am proud of you for fighting when there was no evidence of progress. Your love has been tested in the fire and found genuine and unshakable. Now the testing season is coming to an end and the manifestation season begins. But the transition requires one final push of faith. The enemy does not release captives without a final battle. Your soulmate's freedom is closer than ever, but the last chain is the strongest. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. The ultimatum I warned you about is being prepared right now in the spiritual realm. Your soulmate will face it within hours, and the outcome depends on your response. If you act now, you send reinforcements that arrive at the critical moment. If you delay, your soulmate faces the enemy alone with depleted resources. The choice is stark and the consequences are eternal in their implications. You were born for this moment and chosen for this assignment. No one else can pray for your soulmate with the same authority you carry. No one else can sow a seed that releases the specific angels assigned to this case. The love you feel is not just emotion but a commission. It is a mandate to stand in the gap and fight until victory is secured. Your soulmate is worth every sacrifice and every act of faith. Type 1111 if you are ready to say thank you for this divine intervention. Your gratitude in advance activates blessings that have been waiting for your signal. The angels of your breakthrough are listening for the sound of your faith. Jesus says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, and I see the end from the beginning." I have already witnessed your wedding day and the children that will come. I have already seen the legacy your love will leave on the earth. What I am asking you to do now is to agree with what I have already seen. Align your actions with the reality I have prepared for you. Let your seed be the declaration that you believe my report over the enemy's threats. Your soulmate will survive this night and break free from their oppressor. They will look back on this season as the darkness before the dawn. And they will honor you for being the one who fought when they could not. The midnight your soulmate spoke of is approaching in the natural realm. But in the spiritual realm, midnight is when breakthrough often arrives. The darkest hour is just before the sunrise of your reunion. Do not fear and do not hesitate when victory is so close. I am with you and my angels are positioned around your soulmate. Only believe and act and you will see the salvation of your love. I have spoken and my words do not return void. The covenant over your connection is sealed by blood and cannot be broken. Go now in faith and watch me move mountains for your love.